Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Monday evening with Kinley and myself. We're so excited to just have you here to chat about yoga teacher training. My name is Nick, and I support with a lot of the logistics around teacher training, including supporting yourselves before, during, after, and then Kinley is the inspirational person who leads our teacher trainings, and Kinley co-founded PYC back in 2009. And I'll let Kinley share a little bit more about herself as well.
Hey everyone, I'm Kinley, and it's great to meet you all. Maybe I know some of you from being on the mats at some point in the hot room. Yeah, I've been teaching for many years, about 20 years now, and we started PYC in 2009, so it's been over 15 years. And my passion in life has met my job, which is amazing. I love working with people in a way that serves them into healing and wellness. And I get to lead the yoga teacher training programs, and I've been leading trainings again for over 15 years now, about 16 or 17 years. And I love the experience of yoga teacher training. We do about two a year, and every time we go through the program, I get to be a student again too. So there's this forever student feeling of yoga that we never really arrive. And yoga teacher training for me is this beautiful place to stay in the work of self-development and personal development. And we're going to go through some slides today and kind of talk about what distinguishes this teacher training from other teacher trainings. We definitely, if you haven't taken a PYC class, I recommend coming to one of our studios and taking the class, because really the difference in our yoga studio is the community. And hopefully you feel that through our yoga studios out there. So here is our 200-hour teacher training. And we're just going to go through some slides, and hopefully it answers most of your questions, but please interrupt us at any time if you have a question, and we will answer them as we go. So here is our PYC mission. It is to empower communities into action, and we do that through hot yoga. You know, it's always funny when I think of our mission statement actually doesn't even have the word yoga in it. We're up to so much more than just getting our bodies in shape, right? Yoga is really about yoking ourselves, the spirit, mind, emotion, everything, our body into one, and really back to spirit, right? Back to God and back to the source. And we happen to do that through hot, sweaty power yoga. We yoke ourselves back into community, and we invite everyone through our energy exchange team, through our collective crew team, through our affiliate ownership team, and through every yogi that walks through the door to empower themselves into action in their lives. And on the right there, you can see our core values. And this is how we live into that mission, through our core values there. And we definitely look at these in the teacher training. Go ahead, Nick.
All right. So as somebody who fields a lot of the questions about yoga teacher training, I've been in this role for 5 years now, and I pinch myself so often where it's like, how am I, in this role where I get to support people who take this training? I get to see the experience of these participants as they go through it. I get to see the magic that occurs. And a lot of the questions that we get are around, okay, do I need to know all the poses? I've only been doing yoga for a year. I don't think I'm ready. And what's great about this program is it meets you where you're at. You don't need to be an advanced yogi. You don't need to know how to do all the poses or be a certain age experience level. It doesn't matter. This program really meets you where you're at, and you come along this program with the group, with Kinley, with the facilitators. And one of the themes and one of the main things we want you to realize is, like, you're ready now. Life is too short. And if there's anything in your mind that says, okay, I'm interested, I love yoga, I might not even want to become a yoga teacher, but I love what I've experienced at a PYC. I've loved what I've experienced on my mat. Being ready now and just jumping into an experience like this can really support you along your life journey. And like Kinley mentioned earlier, our mission is to empower you, our community, into action. And that's on your mats, off your mats, in your lives, with your work, your family, your friends, everything. And through that, all we ask of you is to be a yes, to give up what you must, any, thoughts that say that you're not ready, any thoughts that say that I can't teach other people how to do yoga. And once again, like coming from being ready now, being able to come from being ready now in this moment to do anything in life is extremely powerful. And you will 100% leave with an improved yoga practice. We break down all of the poses. You learn so much about this 1,000-year-old practice, thousands of years. You're going to be able to teach a 60-minute power yoga class as we support you along the way, teaching portion by portion, part by part. And then at the end, to be able to teach this full power yoga class with confidence. We meditate, and especially in Nicaragua, when we go in April, one of the best parts of Nicaragua is waking up with the sun and meditating on the beach. Like, I probably took 100 pictures last year just of us on the beach, because I'm like, is this real? And then discovering your true authentic voice is something we firmly stand behind, and something we see so many graduates come out with, because we help you, number one, teach yoga. So you find your voice through teaching yoga. You find your voice through removing layers of inauthenticity and just getting down to who you are, the core of you, the core of Carrie, Denise, Amanda, Faith, like who you are at your heart, and so much more.
So much more. So we have these are our next 3 trainings that are coming up. The spring 2025 is in April 9th. We go to Nicaragua. There's an early bird coming up on March 10th to save some money before that program starts. And that program is a 10-day intensive. And it is, the whole program is in 10 days. And there's a little bit of pre-work and a little bit of post-work. And then the summer training, which is in July, I want to say the 12th,
16th to 25th.
Thank you, 16th. And that is in Ontario, just north of Barrie, in Wybridge, Ontario. That one also is the same formula as, there's someone in the waiting room. Nick, you can let them in.
Got it. Susie.
That one also is a 10-day program with a little bit of pre-work and a little bit of post-work that you do on your own, independent work. And then winter 2026 is a program that's on weekends, every other weekend for 7 weekends, and it spans from January to the beginning of April. And then we meet on Wednesday nights on Zoom. So it's kind of a hybrid program. People can come in person. That's held in Oakville. And then we also have TVs and cameras, and all of that's also available on Zoom Live. So some people do that program half in person, half the Zoom. Some people do the whole thing on Zoom, and some people do the whole thing all together. So those are our 3 programs coming up. And those are the dates. And all of this is on our website on poweryogacanada.com and poweryogacollective.com. And that's kind of what I just spoke through there. There's a little bit of pre-work, like both the programs, the spring and the summer intensives. There's a Zoom evening that we come together for 3 hours. And there's some pre-readings and things like that. And then after the training, there's some papers that you'll write, and a little more videos you'll watch and questions to answer. And we do that intentionally so that while we're together, the time that we have together in our trainings is about embodied learning. I really believe in embodied learning, that you learn best through doing and through leading the thing you just learned to master it. So if we're going to teach sun A's and learn how to do sun salutations, first we do it in our body, and then we teach our partner how to do it. And it's not about waiting until we have it memorized and we're absolutely perfect at teaching it. It's about being in the mess of learning and starting to facilitate and starting to teach it. And that really is a way to find our own voice and to find your own way to share the vessel of yoga through who you are. So we do a lot of embodied learning. These are the main 3 practices that we do every day in the program. We'll do 3 things. We'll at some point flow, we'll be in our bodies. And that also includes like labbing, breaking down poses, practice teaching. And then we will meditate. And sometimes it's a walking meditation. Sometimes it's a moving meditation. And sometimes it's a seated meditation. And then we will always every day be an inquiry. That might look like journaling in your journal, partner sharing, group sharing, but there's a big element in this program of discovering your authentic self. And that's why the program is called Seek the Truth. So finding your voice and finding out your why and your purpose. This is an actual picture in Nicaragua. The pool is right over here to the left, and the sunset's right there. It's so beautiful, right where we eat food, and it's really nice. And there's just a typical day. It's we try to rise and set with the sun. In Nicaragua, it's a 12-hour rise and fall of the sun. So we get up and start our walk at 6 a.m. And then we will have breakfast and we get into the yoga room. And then we have a break in the afternoon when it's really hot, in that high heat of the afternoon. You can go swimming, obviously, in the pool or the ocean. We have two, we're on a peak. So there's two big beaches on either side. It's obviously the same ocean. And you can walk the beach, you can go swimming. There is surfing. If people want to like hop on a surfboard, you can surf on the break. We have a program after that. We get back together and we do labbing in the afternoon. We do discussion. Then there's a dinner, and then the evening program, depending on where we are in that 10 intensive days, it might be something like a yin class, or we might do a discussion at night. But we go for long days, and when we're together, we pack it in those 10 days that we're together. But know that we are attentive to the energy of the group, and if we need to go to bed earlier one night, we do that. If we adjust the program to make sure that we are all feeling good and able to participate and feel fresh every day. And there's lots of time to eat. The summer program is the exact same. It's just we start a little bit later, and we start with breakfast, and then we go into the yoga and meditation. But the same thing, we're together for about 3 hours, and then we have our lunch break. Then we get back together for the afternoon session, and then we have our dinner, and then again we have our evening session. So yeah, and this place is really special in Sugar Ridge. It's built by these two lovely people who built it as a yoga retreat center, and they're very passionate about the naturalness of the place, and that it feels very earthy and holistic, and the food is phenomenal. The food's phenomenal in both places. That's really important to Nick and I. We like eating, so we only go places where the food is really good.
And coffee, of course.
And Nick loves coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but they juice for me in the morning. But yeah, so everything is lovely at both these retreat centers. And then the winter program is a little bit different. We start on Zoom in the morning with our discussion, and then we break. And the break is an hour and a half, so that if people are within an hour and a half of the Oakville studio, they can drive in, and then we spend our days together. So from 1:30 until 8 at night, we're doing all the yoga, the labbing, the discussions, the breaking down poses, workshopping. And in this program, I have lots of facilitators come through. And so also at the summer program in Ontario, the Nicaragua program, we go with a set team. So we still have facilitators that facilitate the program with me, but we just go with one set team for the whole week.
Yep, amazing. So in order to participate in the trainings, especially for the winter one, we are on Zoom like we are right now. And so this is just the lay of the land with, okay, when you're on Zoom, you are talking. So you need a microphone or a microphone on your computer that works. Headphones are optional. I always suggest it just because it can help drown out anything going on in your house. If there's any extra noise, it keeps you in the program and rid of distractions. Of course, a yoga mat, block, and towel is required and to participate. And then with this training, every participant is provided with this 300-page PYC teacher training manual that dives into so many elements of yoga, the teaching tools, every single pose that we teach you how to teach. There's a page showing you a picture of it, and then a spot for you to write down, things you've learned about it. We have stuff on the history of yoga, and it's a beautiful manual that Kinley spent hours upon hours building. And then our online yoga
During
classes.
COVID, there was lots of time. Lots of good things came out of COVID. I have to keep reminding myself.
And with that, we also then in COVID, we created our online yoga classes. So everybody who signs up gets access to 6 months of live Zoom classes that we live stream across a few different studios: Burlington, Oakville, Sudbury, and then we also have an on-demand platform that has challenges. Kinley has a beautiful 15 or 21-day challenge on there, and there's just hundreds of yoga classes that you can do on demand at any point of time. So that's included in the training as well.
Awesome. This is the pre, during, and post-training information. You can get this in the PDF that Nick emails you. I think it's downloadable off the website too, like the information PDF. Yeah. So it really is just a summary of what we expect you to come into the program with. And basically it's having read 2 books, The Art of Possibility and The Voice of Knowledge, which I highly recommend as audiobooks. I love listening to books and they're really beautiful audiobooks. And then we ask you to put the flow into memorization as best as possible. And don't worry if that's not if you're not a great person at memorizing. I know a lot of us have that. We do break it down little bit by little bit, so it's okay. But just getting the sequence into your body. And then there are some other books that we'll want you to get, our history book or anatomy book, and then you can just start reading those. And then during the program, as I said, it's more practical. So we are doing work together, learning together. There might be journaling, things like that. But really the bulk of the work of teacher training is done after the program, where you'll be asked to write an open book anatomy test, which you can do with your group from training. You can work on it together. Nothing is like school where you're getting graded on this stuff. This is for you to show that you learned something and you enjoyed it. And it's just like a checklist. Like, yep, I did that, I did that, I did that. Because it really is for you. Don't get caught up in feeling like I'm back in high school. And do the papers have to be double spaced? And do I have to, cite everything? It's nothing like that. I want you to write the papers in a way as if you were even just journaling to yourself. And like, when I like writing your paper with the chakras, right? You might say something like, "Oh, when I read information about the heart chakra, um, I was present to how, I had a lot of tightness in my chest before I allowed, I used to have tightness in my chest and my shoulders concaved in until I let love in. And now I find that I can like sit up straight, my shoulders back, and I see how my heart chakra was closed up. Like, I don't know, maybe you relate something to your physical body, but it literally is about you. I want to hear your experience of the chakras, your experience of the sutras, and your spiritual experience in your life so far. So it's very personal, and that you're just reflecting on yourself. So don't worry about it when it says complete papers. It's nothing scary. And then that's just the pre-work book list. And all of this again is in that brochure that Nick sends you in the welcome email, and it's also on the website.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a slide saying that we are an accredited school, a yoga school through Yoga Alliance. So Yoga Alliance is an American non-for-profit, and it's really just a registrar. Actually, it might be for-profit, I'm not sure, but it's a registrar, and they ask that if they accredit your school and acknowledge your school, that you have so many hours of certain things, so many hours of anatomy, so many hours of teaching methodology. And this is just letting you know that we are a Yoga Alliance school, that you will be a 200-hour Yoga Alliance registered teacher after our program. That's including the post-work and the pre-work.
Yeah, this is great too, because a lot of the questions that I get is, well, like there's some yoga studios out there that require you to have Yoga Alliance. So it just opens the door in that realm as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we love hosting these info sessions. We love meeting the community, and we'd love to know, why are you here and what do you hope to get out of this training? Perhaps we could just do this here with
Let's
the
do it
larger
together.
group. Yeah. Would anyone like to share? Why are you here? What do you hope to get out of this teacher training?
Yeah. Have you been to a PYC? Denise, are you Monica's friend? Anyone there want to share? Want to unmute? Start to warm you up to what we're going to do in teacher training? Uh, everyone's just listening in, probably getting dinner ready, getting kids to bed. That's
I
okay.
can start.
Sure. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, just seeing how to start my video. Mm, there we go.
Hi.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for this information session. It's been so informative. I'm here because I've been doing yoga now for 10 years. I started when I was 15 years old at PYC, and it completely changed my life. And I want to take the next step. And yeah, I don't know, I'm doing the 9 to 5 and it's just, uh, I don't know, it's not doing it for me. So I think yeah, I'm just interested in taking the next step and really exploring more of this practice.
Amazing. And what community are you with?
So I started off in Mississauga and then I moved to Etobicoke, so I switched to that's
Amazing. Oh, great. Well, I'm glad you're here.
yes, thank you so much.
Thanks, Amanda. Carrie, would you like to share why you're here?
Yeah, hi guys. Um, I have never been a calm person in my life. In fact, I thrive on, well, I used to thrive on spin classes and running and all those things. Age and a lot of mental stuff came into play about a year ago, and I was surprised, but I fell in love with yoga. I
Mm.
didn't fall in love with PYC until I started it recently. I have actually got a membership. I'm in Mississauga, but I started at Oakville on a trial, and now I'm at Mississauga, and I'm in love. Like I'm absolutely in love. I'm in love with the culture. I'm in love with the people. I'm in love with the feeling that it's community and a feeling of acceptance I've never had my whole life. So I feel like this is something I want to share with other people, to bring people like me who are outcasts in the world into something where they belong to, no matter what their level of practice is.
Yes, that's so beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
That's actually one of my fundamental concerns and intentions in our studio was that I felt like that I didn't belong, I didn't fit in, and that PYC for me really is a place. I call it like the home for all us misfits, right?
Yeah,
We can
no,
all
I
come
love it.
together.
I love it. And it does, and the other thing
Uh,
I just want to say is that like when you're in spin class or you're weight training or something, like you always feel like you're not good enough the way the class is run, or you're not fast enough, and you're not at everyone else's level, and maybe I'm not physically at that point, so I always feel like I come out sometimes feeling not good enough. But the one thing I learned with yoga is it's my practice. So if I really can't stay balanced in an eagle, it's okay today.
mm.
It's okay. That's just where I am. I don't have to be perfect today, and nobody ever has to be perfect, but you're still welcome and you're still loved, which is really important to me.
Well, I'm glad you're part of our community.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
Denise, did you want to share why you're here?
Hi, sorry about that. I couldn't figure out it wasn't working. So I'm here because I love yoga and I have I'm passionate about it actually. I grew up as a dancer, and I guess after becoming a mom and having children, this is where I found me again. And I've always wanted to do this, and it's just something that I've always wanted to do. And I talk to Monica all the time about it, and she's like, "Just do it. You just got to do it." And I'm like, "I know, I'm gonna do it."
It's
So
definitely the thing, like when people ask, well, tell me what happens. And usually people just say, you just have to go. It's like
yeah,
this
I just have to go.
mystery around it. Like, I can't tell you, just have to experience it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's where I'm at right now, and I really want to. So now that's why I'm on the Zoom.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Monica, we call her Snow White.
Oh,
Uh,
shit.
she's just pure love, like the biggest heart, and we just love her. And
Yeah.
so I'm glad you're here. Amazing.
Thank you.
Did
I'm glad.
anyone else want to share? Susie or Faith? Hi, Faith.
Hi. I had to go change my settings and it dropped me off the call, but I can now unmute myself, so that's good. Um, Yeah, I actually am pretty new to PYC. I actually stumbled in there in November, and I really enjoyed the class and the sound bath class, I think it was. So it was just something a bit different, and it resonated with me. And I mean, I've been doing yoga kind of off and on for the last maybe like 10 years ago, but I was really more into it maybe 15 years ago. And then I kind of took a long break. But I found that in the fall, I was just needing the grounding, and I found it was really helpful for that. And so, yeah, I'm just looking to explore the course and the 10-day intensive more as a self-inquiry and deepening my own practice and experience with it. And whether or not the teaching part of it comes out of it, who knows? But mainly it's more just like introspection for myself. And it's nice to be in a tropical warm place too. So
Nice.
that's a bonus.
Fresh
Yeah.
mangoes. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you really touched on an important part that our training is actually known. A lot of people will do it who don't necessarily want to teach yoga, because it really does give you that access to inquiry in a way of like, who am I and what am I meant to do on this planet? And getting back to, like, I used to like draw when I was a teenager, and I don't do that anymore. Like finding your passion again and awakening it. And so I'm so excited, Faith. Awesome. We're having a great time in Nicaragua. And Susie, I know you're having sound issues. There she is. You got 2 devices.
I think it worked.
Hold on.
Nice.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So my computer's not working, so I had to go on my phone, but my phone didn't have Zoom because it's a new phone. So then it didn't have anyway, so I've been working through that. Okay, so for me, I have been in the corporate world for many, many years, doing yoga and exercising and every type of sport you can think of. And just recently, I'm not in the corporate world anymore. So I'm taking this opportunity to figure out what I want to do next. So I've gone on a couple yoga retreats, which I've absolutely loved. And people are like, every time you talk about yoga and every time, you think about these things, that's when you light up. So I'm like, this is where I am. I go to the Etobicoke PYC. I love all the instructors there. So this came up, and I did see the Nicaragua one, and I have the time to travel. So yeah, so that is something I'm looking at right now. I have many questions about that trip, but that's kind of where I'm at in my journey. My mindset is not to go back to the corporate world, but to do something completely different. And right now my path is taking me this way. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're one of those weird communities when people are like, hey, everyone, I lost my job in the corporate world. And we're all, yay!
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh my God, congratulations. I'm like, what? Like,
I know. Congrats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, exciting. Okay, amazing. Well, let's see if there's anything next. If there's are there more questions that we can answer in the next slide, or is it testimonials the next one?
The next slide is the cost of the training, and I'm just actually going to pull up the website here, and we'll go through the cost over here on the website. So if you scroll all the way down here, and I don't know if it's big enough to see, however, the 3 easy steps to register for Nicaragua is to first submit the training payment with PYC. And so the cost of that right now, we're on the early bird special. And so it's $34.50 Canadian plus tax. And then so that will go up by $300 on March 10th. And then the second part of the cost is $1,800 US for the resort. And so that those 2 combined plus the fight is the cost of the training. And then when it comes to, I'll pull up, let me see here. For the summer program is, right now we're in the super early bird pricing for summer, which is $4,400 plus tax. And so you can access that up until May 19th. And then the winter training is, we're on the super early bird, and that's $3,200. And so
for the summer one, that includes the housing and the program. There's no extra costs on top of that. You would just have to get yourself there.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's similar with Nicaragua, right? The pricing includes the tuition, the housing, the food, and the coffee. And we do have a video. What time is it? It's 8:02. I have about a 3-minute video if everybody's okay if we share that. Okay, fantastic. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm sharing sounds.
This was done in our summer training last year or 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
The Power Yoga Canada 200-hour teacher training program is so much more than yoga. Obviously, that's the thing that most people come into the practice for or thinking about being a yoga teacher for is the physical asana, like the poses that we do. But our training and our community at Power Yoga Canada is really about empowering people into action in their lives. So in this 200-hour teacher training, we focus on helping people awaken to their highest potential and the possibility of things that they didn't even know possible, that's not even in the realm of knowing.
I genuinely feel that I have found my voice. I've always been the person who felt very conscious about her accent, conscious about will people understand me. But after this program, I feel really strong. I feel more confident to put myself out there and just be me.
I stood up in front of a group of 30 people today and taught yoga. And a week ago, I never saw this side of the room. Totally different perspective. And everyone being so involved in going through all these activities that we've experienced. And I didn't have that same fear, that same nervousness when I was up here today. Whereas when you feel like you're apart or separate from others, you build that boundary, that divide, right? And essentially what we're doing here is breaking that down.
I was trying to do this program, but I wasn't confident enough because I have rheumatoid arthritis and my wrist is very weak. I'm actually able to do the poses in a modification way, and I have actually come out of a lot of my insecurity and found myself, gain more confidence and let go of a lot of negative thoughts and emotions.
Being here in an intensive program, you would think that the focus would be on just learning the yoga postures, but the truth is it's been so much about community and connecting with each other on a deeper emotional and mental level. It's amazing how in such a short space of time we've been able to really come together as a group and find unity both in our weaknesses and our strengths. So we connect on a level where each of us maybe has some insecurities or nervousness around what type of yoga instructors will be, how we'll be able to participate in the community, only to find out that by being here together, we actually lift each other up and strengthen each other because we work to support each other through each stage of the process. And it's very clear while we're here that this community goes well beyond just being here over these 2 weeks, that it's about the PYC community at large that will hold each other up and support each other and provide strength in the mental, physical, and emotional stages of being a yoga instructor.
There really aren't any words to describe this experience. The community, the people, the love, the transformation. It's technically yoga teacher training, but it's so much more than that. It's about transforming ourselves as human beings, people, how we integrate with ourselves in the world, each other. It's just a phenomenal experience.
We use yoga, but we actually are up to waking people up to their highest potential, and then they leave the program for sure able to teach a flow. But the biggest benefit of this 200-hour teacher training program is they come out lit up. They go home and they heal their relationships. They start to live more passionately in what they want to do with their lives. They find new possibilities in everything they do. So their whole life is enriched through this program, and they can teach yoga. And they're really, yes, there'll still be a powerful yoga teacher coming out the other end.
I think the one thing I really didn't expect was how much personal development really took place. The asanas are one thing, learning the postures, but really being open, I feel lighter than I did walking in here. Kinley does a fantastic job of allowing us to be here now. Really the whole point of all of this is community. I've found a new meaning of community. I knew it was a word before, but now I feel like I've experienced it.